How's it going, class? Today we're going to be going over my aircraft feasibility study proposal, and essentially what we're going to be doing is just trying to dive into the big picture stuff and big picture takeaways from our big proposal document that we did. Obviously, with a narrated presentation like this, we're not going to be able to go over everything that I outlined in my document, but we're going to go through the main points here and kind of talk about my thought process and how we got to where we did. So first off, with our study overview, our objective was to analyze several different aircraft and determine which of the models presented the best overall value for our company's travel needs. So we focused on factors such as purchase price, payload, range, efficiency, storage, total cost of operation, everything like that. So the aircraft that we dived into, we went through the Piper M600, the Pilatus PC-12 NGX, the Epic E1000 GX, and then the King Air 260. These are the ones that I talked about the most. And with our fictitious company, it was basically one that's trying to get into the market. Their company's starting to grow, they're making a good amount of money, and they're trying to invest in that first aircraft. And so they're trying to maximize efficiency while also being able to save as much time and all of that as we can. So the 4 aircraft that I selected were to represent the most common business aviation options for like a first starter out aircraft with good performance but also within the budget range. And each of them has unique strengths, but our goal was to find the best balance of all of these: the capacity, the reliability, the capability, the efficiency, and all of that. So now hopping into our selection matrix here. These are kind of the overview, and this is the one that I had inside of my document. And the selection matrix was there to compare each aircraft using weighted categories such as purchase price, cabin volume, payload, direct operating costs. And as you can see, overall here, the Epic E1000 scored the highest, followed by the PC-12 and the Piper M600. However, even though this is the big thing to take away from this, is even though the Epic performed well on paper, there are also a ton of other operational factors that made the PC-12 a more practical long-term choice. Most of that being the payload, the availability, and also the range as well, at a lower price point, or at a higher price point, but with a lot more cabin volume, more payload. It's cheaper to run per hour, and the maintenance is a lot cheaper, so you have to think about long-term rather than just what the base price is. And then diving into our cost of operation here. So the cost analysis showed that the Piper M600 was the most affordable to operate at approximately $661,000 per year, and the Pilatus PC-12 averaged around $921,000. And even though it costs slightly more, it has a lot more performance, range, and storage capabilities, which are really important for our company, and it makes it a better long-term investment, which is what we're looking for. And what the big takeaway was, we're looking for long-term rather than just the short-term. How much can we get in the long run out of this aircraft? So now moving on to my final recommendation, we chose on the Pilatus PC-12, and after reviewing both the performance and cost of all of these aircraft, we figured that the best one for our company would be the Pilatus PC-12, and it provides the ideal balance of capability, efficiency, and comfort. And although it is slightly more expensive than some other models, the aircraft storage room, the passenger capacity, and operational versatility make it the best fit for our company's on-demand flight operations. So now talking about building a safety culture, this is something that is really important. And according to Chapter 8 of our textbook, which was the main focal point of this document, safety in a new flight department starts with strong leadership and a defined culture. So developing SOPs, encouraging crew resource management, and maintaining open communication are very, very important. And a strong safety culture isn't just about rules, it's also about trust and accountability within the team. So now into our biblical integration, I chose Proverbs 22:29 here that states, "Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." And this verse really talks about diligence, discipline, and excellence, qualities that are all essential in aviation. A safe flight department depends on the attention to detail and professionalism in every single task. So by striving for excellence and maintaining high standards, we honor both our responsibilities and the values that guide us. And yeah, I just love this quote here, and I know that this presentation, it's hard to talk about everything that we talked about in the document. But that just gives you a little bit of overview of how I was picturing this, how I was looking for long-term growth, and how much money we can save in the long run while also having an aircraft that meets all of our needs. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.